And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Thursday, May 24th. I am your host for today's program, Paul Domain, and many of the stories we read here can also be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of those news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Holly Gannon has been named President CEO of Pearl River Resort. The announcement came last week from Phyllis J. Anderson, Tribal Chief of the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. Gannon previously was Vice President of Finance and Planning and Analysis for Caesars Entertainment. Gannon also lectured at the Eisenberg School of Management at the University of Massachusetts, and she is a certified public accountant. Gannon, who begins work June 1st, succeeds Bryce A. Warren, who was hired in 2011 to replace Paul Harvey. Gannon will be responsible for the day-to-day operations of all Choctaw properties, including the Silver Star Hotel and Casino, Golden Moon Hotel and Casino, Oklahoma Casino, Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Theme Park. The Flandreau Santee Sioux Tribe in South Dakota say a proposal to build a $120 million casino in Sioux Falls in exchange for a revenue-sharing plan with the city is still on the table. Money from the plan could help finance the city's planned $150 million events center, saving money for taxpayers. But Sioux Falls officials want the government to first sign off on the deal, and a spokesman tells the Argus Leader that Governor Dennis Daugaard is willing to listen, but still skeptical of a Sioux Falls casino proposal. The tribe made its last offer last year, but it didn't go anywhere. Tribal officials say the offer is still there, and President Tony Ryder tells KELO TV that it would be great if the city and tribe could approach the governor together. The Mashpee Wampanoag tribe would make approximately $33 million in upfront payments to Taunton as part of a deal reached with the city's mayor to allow the tribe to build a resort casino in the southeastern Massachusetts community. The agreement, announced by Tribal Chairman Cedric Cromwell and Mayor Thomas Hoyce, also calls for a minimum annual payments of about $13 million to the city. The tribe has proposed a $500 million casino on 146 acres of land at the junction of Routes 24 and 140. The complex, to be built in stages over a 5-year period, also would include 300-room hotels, retail shops, meeting space for business events, and a family water park. North Carolina lawmakers last week began weighing whether to allow live dealer card games at the state's only casino rather than the video machines that are now offered. The legislation was introduced and passed in the Senate the same day, would validate changes reached in November to a gambling compact between the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians and the Governor Beverly Perdue. The key changes would allow live dealer gambling for card games such as poker and blackjack at the tribe's Western North Carolina casino, with a share of the revenue from the new games going to the state. The focus of a new Yakima Tribal Jail in Toppenish is rehabilitation. It includes classrooms where inmates can study. Chief of Corrections Gene Fenton said it will also hold juvenile offenders who previously had been sent to Spokane. The Yakima Nation is hiring 24 correction officers to run the jail. A Justice Department grant paid for the $15 million, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs covers daily operations. A federal appeals court is telling a tribal faction it can't block the long-fought distribution of money that Congress allocated to settle land claims in a vast area that includes California's Death Valley and most of what is now Nevada. The U.S. District Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C. issued an order recognizing the April 2011 election of a Timbisha Shoshone Tribal Council that favors accepting money set aside by a federal Indian Claims Commission in 1977 and the Western Shoshone Claims Distribution Act of 2004. The election, quote, constituted the resolution of an internal tribal dispute in a valid tribal forum, unquote, the appeals court said, quoting a letter from a federal Bureau of Indian Affairs official to tribal leader George Golson. A rival tribal faction headed by Joe Kennedy doesn't have legal standing to challenge the payments, the court said. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to say P. Nagigi for joining with us, and y'all come back soon.